Shalom, friends. One of the debates that continues to roil contemporary life is, what do we mean by equality? Does equality mean sameness, so that there's one rule and then it applies exactly the same to you and to you and to you? Or does equality have to take into account the background and the individuality of each person, so that what makes for equality may not be the same in different cases? It may require some modification of practice to be able to create an equality of result. That debate goes all the way back to the beginnings, and it continues in contemporary political argumentation today as well. The Bible weighs in this week's Parsha, which is Parshat Pinchas, from the book of Numbers. And the Israelites are talking about how they're going to distribute the land among the tribes so that everybody gets a fair piece of land. And obviously there's two possible ways to do that. One way is to say each of the tribes gets the same amount of real estate, and then whether they're big or small, they divvy it up. That, by the way, is how the Senate in the United States works. California, with the population of the 9th largest country in the world, gets the same number of senators as South Dakota, which has far less people. But a different notion of equality is that you would then look at whether the tribe is big or small, and you would divvy up the land so that the big tribes get a bigger piece of land and the smaller tribes get a smaller piece of land, so that the members of the tribe wind up with the same size pieces. That's more, for those in the United States, like the way the United States House of Representatives is divvied up, where it's each voter's district has the same number of voters, which is why some states have lots of congresspeople and some states have one or two. Okay, so how does the Torah weigh in? Well, in the book of Numbers, in Parshat Pinchas, the Torah says the following: L'rov tarbe nachalato v'lema'at tim'at nachalato. Ish lefi pekudav yiten nachalato. With the larger groups, you increase their share. The smaller groups reduce the share. Each is assigned according to its enrollment. The principle here that God is teaching us is that what remains constant is the dignity of each individual, their uniqueness, their own individuality. And to get to that, you have to take into account the broader picture. You have to understand their history and their background. You have to understand their race, their orientation, all the details that make them who they are. To smother the world with one rule applied the same for everyone, it turns out, is the height of inequality and injustice. If you want to be just, if you want to be fair, then there has to be room for reasonable differences in how laws are applied based on objective criteria. And that struggle will continue to engage good people in debate and in policy for years to come. Shalom.